everybody back to the Collins Arena for another game here. We got the men's team facing off against Gloucester County as well. They're coming in at 4-6, and Gloucester is 8-5, so it's going to be a good matchup today. What do you think Brookdale's got to do to pull out a second home win in a row? They got their first Tuesday. What do you think they got to do tonight?
Well, the first thing that they got to do is they just got to clean up the turnovers. They averaged 16 a game, and that was something, even though that they beat Atlantic Cape County Tuesday night, they still had a lot of turnovers in that game. There was a lot of sloppy play. They got to clean that up. The second thing that they got to do is they got to grab those rebounds. We talked about this in the women's game. Following your shot, they got a lot of size advantage. They got that one guy, Norbert Allen, who's down low, the sophomore. He's a big guy down there. He's got to grab those rebounds. He has to step up, so they have to get those rebounds. And the third thing is they just got to watch their fouls. Similar in the women's game, they can't commit too many silly fouls. I was talking about keep your hands down at your sides. Don't go to reach. Move your feet. If they can do that tonight, I think that Brookdale can easily beat Gloucester County. Gloucester County, I think, has a better team, but Brookdale definitely has a lot of options, both on the offensive and defensive ends, to get it done.
And I think Brookdale has a little bit of a height advantage on him as well. The tallest guy is 6'5", or 6'6", I apologize, William Harris, number 34. He's not even in the starting lineup. I mean, the tallest guys, they average 6'4" in the starting lineup. Brookdale's usually putting out Crosby or Allen, as well as Noah Dean in there. So size is going to be, I think, an aspect in this game as well. Looks like Tyler Grzeski is getting himself a second start. One of the returning sophomores, along with Tavon Bennett, who is not starting for the second game.
Keep up to date on all your favorite Brookdale.
Brian Crosby, who also had a great game last week, or last Tuesday night against Atlantic Cape, had 19 points, 12 rebounds. He's 6'8", so pretty big guys. Brookdale, I would say, has a size advantage. But as far as talent is concerned and as far as experience, I think the Roadrunners for Gloucester County have a little bit more of that, but definitely Brookdale has the opportunity tonight to pull off a win.
Yeah, I mean, when these two teams last met was last January, Brookdale won 102-63 in a crushing win, but 90% of this team wasn't even here for that.
It's a completely different ball game now.
Very different look for the Brookdale men's squad this year. We're going to see how they head into it.
Roadrunners come in here coached by head coach Chris Martin.
Number 2, Michael
Spoke to him before the game. He was pretty happy. Very, very quiet guy, but nonetheless quietly enthusiastic about tonight.
And the Roadrunners trying to make an early run at this one. I remember this team from last year, and it threw me off when I was seeing Rowan College at Gloucester County. I thought they were a completely different school, but Gloucester County, as we said earlier, in the women's game, if you didn't tune in with us, they had won that one 67-58 against Gloucester as well. They were now absorbed by Rowan. They just missed Region 19 last year, and they're really coming off to a hot start at 8-5, 6-3 in the region. That's going to be huge going down the line. This being a region game, it's a lot on the line, I think.
And they're 5th in the standings as it stands right now, so definitely this is a critical game for this team.
For sure.
From Trenton, number 11.
And of course, Brookdale being coached by head coach Paul Chizak.
Isaiah Johnson coming out, who's been having a stellar year as a freshman. Not only do they have the same last name, but I think playing style, he really replaced Rashawn Johnson of last year very well in a similar play style. There's big man Norbert Allen, 11 rebounds just on Tuesday, where they cannot stop him. Now they're getting fired up and getting ready to head out onto the court for another great game here at the Robert J. Collins Arena. If you haven't been, I know you love watching us on TV and love listening to us, but if you haven't come down to the Collins Arena, you have to come down here because it really is a great facility. Come fill out these stands, root on your home team, and support this great program.
I would say right now it's about 3/4 of the way filled. They still got some seating room.
They got a good crowd tonight. They definitely got a good crowd tonight.
The Gloucester County women are sticking around to watch the men play.
I think
I'm sure the Brookdale women will be out pretty soon.
Always, yeah. Yeah, they always stick around and support each other, both teams. On Tuesday, they switched up the schedule a little bit. We're going to do that one more time. I believe it's right when we come back. A couple games after that, a little bit into January. We got a big slate of games coming at you in January. 5 total games you'll see us. One of them is just the men, I believe. Now, it's later in the season, but we're going to be off for a month. Then you're going to see a whole lot of us.
5 games in January.
Going to be exciting times as the tip-off goes towards Gloucester. It's always interesting seeing the first couple possessions, how these teams try to kind of acclimate to each other and who's going to match up on who, rotations. There's Terrell Cox taking it right to the hole. Easy basket, just weaving through the defenders into the paint.
It's always very important in a college basketball game, high school basketball game, to come out with a lot of energy. As you see, a great block by Allen there in the center. Always have to come out with a lot of energy, try to get the game off to a good start.
Get the pace going the way you want it and dictate it from there as Brookdale takes an early 2-0 lead. Gloucester on their second offensive possession, and they're going to tie it up.
Nice shot by Patterson at the top of the elbow there. Another shot.
Nice rebound there by Tyree Brown. Flying
nice
in.
Block by Tyler Grzenski.
Oh, and he just stepped out with Johnson.
Ooh.
Rowan's ball.
And Coach Chisak did not like that call, but
I think Coach Paul might have been more mad at his own guys.
stood right up out of that seat.
Oh yeah, he's quick to go at any time. He's a firecracker. But a great coach here for the past few years. Pulled in that one banner that the men have hanging up. 2013 season, going an impressive 33-1. Much different look than this year. Right now, 4-6, but they're starting to get a little better as down the stretch.
Another rebound by Allen. Well, I mean, we've talked about it, Pat. This is a developing team. There's a lot of freshmen on this team.
Yeah.
This is a young team. It's going to take them some time to mature a little bit, but I think once they mature, they got something going here.
Terrell Cox scoring the first 4 points of the game for the Jersey Blues. Pass sailing down there.
Blues ball.
Coach is yelling at him to get back down there. And I think he's going to go. He's looking at his coach, and I thought he was looking right at Crosby to try to get him in there, because while Allen has, they're about matched up in height. There's only an inch differential between them. Allen definitely has the weight on Crosby. Crosby can move a little bit more, gets to these places a little faster, and has a better shot. But having Allen down there as the long shot goes up for Cox.
Nice rebound by Allen.
That's what Allen can do.
That's what he can do, absolutely.
He gets down there and has a big body. It's hard to wrestle that ball away from him. He'll get all the rebounds and score all those short buckets.
And that's what they're going to depend on him. They're going to depend on Allen to grab those rebounds down low, because he's the biggest guy on this floor right now.
Yeah. Nice pull-up jumper there by Vincent Anfield, one of the freshman guards out of Rancocas Valley. I just wanted to say Rancocas Valley. That's the only reason I said that. I just really wanted to say that.
He has a great last name.
And there we go. Oh, Isaiah Johnson couldn't get it there, but Norbert Allen putback was bad as well. And Gloucester has the numbers. They're going to push it. Pop-up jumper. Noah Dean gets away with it. Another one of those big guys down there that, oh, man. Nice move, Isaiah Johnson. Around the defenders and in the basket.
Takes a lot of ball control, and you see just switching hands effortlessly as he's going up for the basket.
Got a little trip up there, and Brookdale had not really going fast either way down. When they're transitioning, they got to pick up the speed a little bit. You can hear it from Coach Paul. He's getting frustrated. Norbert Allen, that's why he's in there. That's why he's going to get the start. Go off early while he's still fresh. Get those points.
Another nice rebound by Allen, and that's 2 buckets now that he's been able to dump in down low. Cox is going to go out, I think.
No, seems like it. Cox is going to come out. Yeah, he's something going on. Heading over to the trainer's table. Maybe got hit in the face.
I think when he went to go for that ball, he got called for the foul, but in the process, I think he either got poked in the eye or hit in the mouth.
Yeah, maybe has a little blood in his mouth.
Yeah, I think he got hit in the mouth.
Man, you got to give credit to number 10 there, Vincent Anfield, standing at 5'11", heading into the big wall that is Norbert Allen in the paint. Isaiah Johnson once again bringing us right to the hoop.
Johnson.
Wow. Great ball control by Michael Smith.
Good little floater there Brookdale up 12-6. As this is a very fast-paced game right now. We're already at the 15:53 mark.
Both these teams, though, not really getting back on defense. I was going to mention it a couple moments ago for Brookdale, but the same thing for Gloucester County. And it has to do with both these teams. They're wanting to push the issue. They're wanting to push it early on, and that's fine. But when you're on defense, you have to get back. And what I would always be told is when you have a team like that that wants to push it, when you would get past half court, you have to turn around and backpedal. That way you can see who's coming behind you. I don't really see a whole lot of that. That would be my only suggestion, maybe to help both of these teams get back on defense. At least you have an idea of who's coming down the floor right at you.
Crosby checks in as Isaiah Johnson sinks the second free throw. 14-6 now. Brookdale in the lead. There's Crosby making an immediate impact. All he had to do was just stand there, put his hands up, and he was able to get a hand on that ball.
Yeah, Brown's going to get called for carrying.
Carrying violation.
Corey Brown, who was out the first couple games with, I believe it was a mild concussion, or was a leg injury. Megan DeGrush, I was mixing up. Megan DeGrush had the concussion early in the season. I believe Corey Brown was a leg injury. He has been back, and he's been getting, if not starting, getting in there very early in these games and making impacts. Grabbing this ball a lot is Tyree Brown. He's seeing a lot of FaceTime with it, as well as Vincent Anfield. Driving in. He is not afraid to rush at those 6'8" guys that are standing up at Brookdale. Coach with a very forceful timeout.
I mean, you could hear that one all the way up here.
You can usually hear Coach Chizak. You can hear him out in the parking lot.
Very, very enthusiastic there.
You saw Coach Chris Martin very calm, cool, and collective, walking over, giving his player high fives. This is a part of Coach Chizak's game. This is the way he is.
I think the thing that he was upset about was Tyler Gorinsky went out to try to grab that ball when it was a loose ball. He tried to go out and get it instead of staying in front of his man and going for the ball. Opened up that opportunity for that basket for Gloucester County. I think that's why Chizak was upset. Among other things, he was shouting directly at Brian Crosby too. So I mean, there was some things going on. Now I didn't see what Crosby did, but obviously Coach Chizak was upset.
He came a little late to the defense.
Possibly didn't get back on defense too quickly.
And they're putting a little bit of a press on Brookdale, and Brookdale fails on it. Oh, Noah Dean pokes it out, but it's still obtained by Gloucester, and he's driving right past everybody. Not going to roll in for him.
Just not going to get that roll.
Coach is talking to Tyler Grzeski on asking him, why are you trying to throw it that far across with all that defense in the way?
Yeah, in that situation, you have Brown right across from you. Keep going back and forth and just slowly work your way up. Don't go for that long ball, particularly when you have three guys between you and that guy on the offense.
Yeah. Second shot lands for him. 14-9 now. Brookdale holding on to this lead, but offense has been a little sloppy these past couple minutes. Isaiah Johnson, three-pointer, just bounces off the rim. Gloucester is pushing this ball. They're not taking their time for
2 quick
1 second.
Fouls on Crosby. Sorry, Pat. 2 quick fouls on Crosby.
Coach is not agreeing with that one. That Crosby was just standing there with his hands up, exactly what they want you to do. But the ref saw it differently, and that's going to be his second foul. Coach is still stating his case over there.
The difficult thing is you're supposed to put your hands up, but anytime you move your body anywhere near the defender, if there's the slightest bit of contact, in particular when he's going up for a shot, you're going to get the foul called every single time. Because from the official standpoint, it looks like there's contact, while in reality there may not be, but you have to give credit to the official because they're at a different angle than on the floor with the players.
3-point game now with Brookdale in the lead, and they take advantage of that full court press, not rotating on some defense where it really hurt them last time. We'll see if Gloucester sticks with it. That quick shot doesn't land for Melvins. Long three, Corey Brown.
All right.
Money. And he's going to take a timeout. That broke to a nice little 8-point lead for Brookdale, 19-11. 14-17 left, Gloucester timeout. Take this time to Recognize Domino's of Red Bank, of course. Always.
Of course.
Proud to support us, and we're proud to have them as a sponsor for the second year in a row. We'd like to thank them. Located at 60 English Plaza in downtown Red Bank. You can head down there if you're in the area, grab a pie, or you don't feel like leaving your house, head on your computer. You haven't got to call them anymore.
Or your smartphone.
Right on the app. You got an app for it. Get on there, make a pizza profile. I mean, if you don't have a pizza profile by now, you're doing something wrong.
Come on, it's the 21st century, people. Get with it.
Get into it. 19-11. 14-17 left in this first half. The game was really hot out of the gate. Pace was up, and it's Gloucester still keeping it up offensively, but it's starting to slow down a little bit now. A couple fouls we've had, and it's going to give these teams a little bit of a breather. Extended timeout we're taking here.
You know, it was funny. I was talking to Coach Dabina Tuesday night. We were talking about Domino's Pizza, and he said something like, you know, Domino's is sponsoring the game. I said, yeah, well, Domino's is kind of like a good luck charm. When they sponsor the game, you guys do really well.
Yeah.
When they don't, you guys struggle a little bit. Yeah. So they're like our good luck charm over there.
Yeah, we started off the season without Domino's for the first couple of games. And now that we have, we've been on some winning streaks.
They picked it up, so, I mean, hey, you know.
So we'd like to thank Domino's Red Bank for giving us a morale boost here at the Collins Arena.
Great local business.
They smell that pizza, and the players just get fired up. Back to the action on the court.
Ooh.
And he keeps taking it to the rim there. There's Melvin's. Not being successful with it, though. But who is being successful is Isaiah Johnson, but he got blocked there.
Nice block
and
by
they got
Anford.
numbers, see if he can slam it down, but he takes the gentle touch in there. He didn't want to give us all of it, just giving us a taste for it right now.
Nice little teardrop layup by Harris.
Brookdale slowing it up offensively here, trying to get something going. Long three again by Corey Brown. Left him open that time. He didn't make it. Terrell Cox looks like he's going to check back in. Big three by number 10, Vincent Anfield. We're going to have a foul called on number 35, Tyree Brown. His first, team second.
First personal, second team foul.
Coach Chizak wanting his players to come up a little bit. There were too many of them down the court. Meanwhile, the ball has to come up with this full court pressure, so he wants them to come up a little bit.
Yeah.
Help the guys out.
Brian Reese in the game now, as well as Terrell Cox checked in. Putting a lot of shooters around the perimeter, but Crosby as well can take a shot there. Noah Dean on the rebound, trying to muscle it in there. Ball tipped out to Cox, and he almost got it as well. See, with Cox, Brown, and Reese in the game, all those guys can shoot from outside.
Brookdale switching to a man-to-man defense here. They're trying to force Gloucester County to not go inside so many times, trying to force them outside. Shot clock starting to wind down. They got 7 seconds left.
Melvin's starting to get frustrated at his teammate, and that opened up a wide-open three. Brian Reese Jr. could not transition quick enough over past the screen. So now it's a three-point game. Gloucester is sticking with this full-court press. That took a lot of time off the shot clock, but Reese Jr. from the elbow. Good. Nice job. 22-16. 11:45 left in this first half of play. Screen right behind Cox, trying to set something up, but he gets off it very well.
A little miss of communication there opened it up for Anford. Take a long three. Fortunately for Brookdale, didn't go in.
Yeah, couldn't transition over quick enough was Corey Brown on defense. Cox open, foot was over the line, but still no good nonetheless. Dean puts it back.
Noah Dean.
24-16 now. Just over 11 minutes remaining. The first period of play. Brookdale's holding on to this lead.
Ooh. If that's on Crosby, that's his third.
Yeah, here comes Isaiah Johnson back in the game.
Fouls on number 20, Brian Crosby.
Yeah, that's Brian Crosby's third foul. We're not even halfway through the first half. He's already got 3 fouls.
Expect to see him out for pretty much the rest of this first half here, because you can easily rotate in either Dean or Allen in his place and still keep the intensity and the size in the middle. 24-19 now after that made free throw. Dean gets the ball out there. Brookdale can now reset. He had Dean open for a second, but that window closed quickly. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Over to Johnson. Quick three. Got it. He is too good.
You cannot leave him open, and that's, I'm sure, what Coach Martin is trying to tell his players, in particular, and Freed, who was trying to guard Johnson in that corner. You got to get out on him. You can't let him take those open threes like that, because he'll just knock them down all night long.
Yeah, Johnson definitely one of the most prolific shooters on the team. He's always leading. He was NJ Hoops Player of the Week a couple weeks ago. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten Garden State Player of the Week, because he is really phenomenal out on this court as a freshman. Really, really doing well. (27-19), that three-point made it. The Jersey Blues here at home holding on to the lead. They got their first win on Tuesday against Atlantic Cape. See Kimberly McNillis hanging out in the crowd there, cheering on the men's squad.
Yeah, both the women and both women's teams from the game just previously are in the crowd tonight.
Three ball up. Rebounded by Norbert Allen.
Oh. Brian Reese just went to go pick up his dribble just a little bit. He looked like he was going to try to get it ahead. I think it was Allen. And then he disregarded that decision, pulled it down, and then unfortunately traveled.
Yeah, small mistake, but coach was all right with it. He's not all right with that, though, leaving him wide open in the corner. Tell him got to get on 34. It's William Harris. Reese Jr.'s going to get another smack at it, but right back to Cox. 10 minutes left now. Brookdale's run a lot of time off the shot clock, playing heads-up basketball here, I would say. Nice move by Cox there.
Nice shot off the glass. Very smooth.
Coach worried about the communication on the court. And I think that's something we've seen a lot of, is they missing a lot of the vocal guys on this team that left as sophomores. Joe Nickerson, Corey Sones, David Rosado. A lot of those guys were really the leaders out there, not only when they were sitting on the bench, but out there on the court, and it's hurting them.
Absolutely. We talk about this all the time. All these new freshmen, they're looking for somebody to depend on, and now that they are forced in that role, they don't have anybody to fall back on, with maybe the exception of a couple of other guys. You have Tavon Bennett, you have Tyler Grzelski, but that's about it. They don't really have any other guys to fall back on. So it's a tremendous amount of weight that's been put on these freshmen' shoulders, but thus far, despite having 6 losses, I think that they've handled it fairly well.
I agree with you, and I think that's where they don't have the leadership maybe on the player side. I think that's where the great coaching is coming into it. Coach Chizak has been a great coach here for the past years, and Coach Brunson as well is one of the assistants. He's a former Rutgers player, played in a couple of NCAA tournaments with them in March Madness, so he's bringing some of that experience onto the court, and he's really one of the guys that when we talking to the players last year, we were able to speak with them a lot, and that was one of the guys they really enjoyed having as a coach, because he could bring that application to them onto the court.
He's been in both of their positions. He's seen it from the coaching side and he's seen it from the player's side, which is always a plus.
That's
absolutely
huge. Possession there ends without a basket. And he's trying to dive to the boards there. Brian Reese Jr. lays it in. And they keep leaving 34 open. Reese Jr. pointed it out to Allen. It's William Harris.
Brown's got to be careful. That's not a foul next time. Oh,
nice steal there, Isaiah Johnson. And what's he going to do with it? He put it right in his face.
Foul to go.
Isaiah Johnson hits the block.
So he has a chance to make it a three-point play. 33-21 with 8.5 minutes remaining.
Kelvin Toll, that's his first. Third team foul. Smith heads back onto the court for the Roadrunners.
One thing that I've noticed is Gloucester County has gone away from pressing Brookdale full court. And ever since then, even though Brookdale's had an advantage all this game, but ever since they went away from that, it's allowed Brookdale to be a little bit more comfortable on the floor. I question that a little bit if you're Coach Martin. Put the pressure back in, because believe it or not, that was giving Brookdale a little bit of trouble coming up the court.
It was, yeah. Now a 13-point lead for the home court Jersey Blues.
Nice bounce off the glass.
Yeah.
Devin Ellis.
Davon Ellis with that shot.
Brian Reed's getting swarmed on the double team, and they steal the ball away, and it's basically just doing whatever they want with it.
Ellis with the throwdown.
Slams it in. Coach Paul's going to take a timeout and not be happy about this one. 8:05 left, 34-25, as we are past the halfway point of the first period. Go ahead and order yourself up a pie from Domino's, specifically Domino's at Red Bank, who is supporting the Brookdale men's and women's team this year. As you see Ellis slam it down there at the Collins Arena. I haven't seen one of those in a while.
No, it's a good flush.
Yeah, almost had one last week, but he missed it. I think it was someone on. It was Glenn Bates. Glenn Bates was going for it.
And he blew it.
And he blew it. It was either Bates or William Gay. The name, I'm forgetting it at the moment, but almost had one, because, I mean, last season we're used to Corey Ayers-Owens just flying through and slamming it down, standing at 6 feet tall. He was a monster.
We're a little bit spoiled here. We're used to seeing those throwdowns.
Yeah.
We haven't seen too many of them, or we've seen a lot of attempted ones, but they haven't been successful thus far.
Still early in the season, though. I'm waiting for one. I want a good one. They got to take me out of my seat. Isaiah Johnson, he's going to take me out of my seat, though. The performance he's been having this game. That three misses. Driving right inside is Ellis.
Kelvin Toll.
And both teams have really been doing very quick offensive possessions. Brookdale slowed it up at one point, ate up some time on the clock. But now they're keeping that pace going again. They're getting it nice and fired up.
Yes, I mean, the pace has been pretty good for Brookdale. I've been pretty impressed with it. I can't really offer any critiques on that. They've done a pretty good job moving the ball. Couple of questionable turnovers, but other than that, a pretty good improvement for this team.
Yeah. Nice move there, William Gay, who got a little bit of more extended bench time than usual on Tuesday, coming in towards the end of the game when it was basically a win. Now getting in there a lot earlier after having a good performance when he got the time on the court. Michael Smith, he gets it to a 6-point deficit now. Oh, Isaiah Johnson. That pump fake.
And that's what I talk about. Get that defender in the air. You can either lean into him and try to get the foul, or you can just go around him and try to get that basket to go down with a clean look.
We're going to have whistle blown on the court. Looks like it's going to be on Corey Brown of Brookdale.
Foul number 1.
You're going to have Michael Smith head to the line.
First personal, 7-team foul. Brown checks back into the game for the Roadrunners.
38-30, 6:43 remaining.
There's a couple of the girls.
And the second one misses, rebounded by Man who committed the foul. Right over to Brian Reese Jr. Nice little ball fake there. He could have taken the shot, but he chose to dump it off and keep some more time on the clock. I think that was a smart decision. While a three would have been nice, Gloucester starting to close this lead a little bit. And they really want to get some time off of this half. Turnaround wasn't good for Dean.
You got a kickball.
I'll call you on that all day. Grzeski is going to come in for Brian Reese. It looks like Tavon Bennett possibly comes in for Corey Brown or William Gay.
Along with Tavon Bennett.
But yes, I agree with you on that play by Brian Reese, Pat. Slowed it down, didn't push the issue, and that's one of those things that I've been talking about. This team has to learn. Sometimes it's better to back it out, even when you think you might have an opportunity to get a basket, particularly when you have a lead like this. Back it out and try to work for a good shot.
Miss there. See if Brookdale can capitalize on it. Corey Brown heading it up. And Isaiah Johnson, that's his second missed three after draining a couple earlier. He's going to have to slow it down now and be a little bit more smart with these shots. No good there, and the ball's going to knocked out by 41, Devon Ellis. 5:42 remaining. Still a 7-point lead for the Jersey Blues.
You know, despite being down by 7 points, Gloucester County has done a pretty decent job of not fouling too often. They only have 14 fouls so far this half.
They really haven't. I think that's what's keeping it from getting out of hand. They've been playing very clean basketball for the most part. And he's going to get called on a hole, it seems like.
Ronnie Russell
wasn't letting him progress.
That was number 23, Ronnie Russell. That's his first. Roadrunners fifth.
Couldn't see it with that angle there.
Anfield checks back into the game for the Roadrunners.
I think Russell may have grabbed his jersey on that play.
Roadrunners starting to go to their bench now. They've been touching at it here and there, but they haven't made as many substitutions as Brookdale.
Dangerous inbound pass by Brown.
Tavon Bennett rolled off the glass the wrong way. Ooh, Isaiah Johnson almost grabbed that one.
Almost.
He is going to be someone who's going to do great for them if he stays for next season. Travel call, didn't get his feet set.
Traveling Blues ball. Patterson heads back onto the court for the Roadrunners.
Paris Patterson. Getting some more action on the court. Corey Brown around the other side. He couldn't get the angle.
I like that play, though, by Brown, taking it to the basket. I know that he wasn't able to capitalize and finish with it, but a nice play going around the defenders. He's got good speed. He just has to learn to or get a little bit, have those plays go down.
I think the ref really blew that one. He said Corey Brown kicked it. Him and Tavon Bennett were the only ones close enough to the ball, and they weren't anywhere near it. It was very clearly kicked out by the Gloucester player, but on the court, it's a lot harder to make that call than watching the replay, as always, but that one was a little bit of a blown call, in my opinion. Three is good. Vincent Anfield.
For three.
That did not make Coach Shizak happy, because that was an opportunity for Brookdale to come out and put a hand in his face. You cannot let these guys be open like that. You have to come out, at least put a hand in his face. If he knocks it down with a hand in his face, okay, but you got to at least got a body on him and pop out like that. That's what Coach Shizak's upset about on the sidelines.
Coach slammed that whiteboard down on the ground, and now he is furiously drawing a play up. And when he gets on these guys, it fires them up.
Absolutely.
And that's the attitude he brings. It's some anger, of course, always some anger, but he's trying to get their heads back into it when they start to slip out a little bit, and it works. He's a great coach, and he really does great things here. He knows exactly what he's doing to get in these guys' heads and get them right back into the game.
He is a very, very good coach. He's been doing it for a while, and him and his entire coaching staff has really done a fantastic job. And they have one of the most difficult jobs in basketball, Division III, because at a community college like this, there's a constant turnover of players, whereas opposed to when you're in Division I, sometimes even in Division II, you have players for 3, 4, 5 years. In this, you have them for 2 years at the most.
Yeah,
so,
sometimes one.
Sometimes only 1 year. So it's a very, very difficult job, and I think Coach Chisholm and this entire team, coaching staff has done a fantastic job all these years. Again, this year is a rebuilding year. They got a lot of new guys coming in, and this is definitely going to be a challenge, but I'm already starting to see progress with this team that we didn't see a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to progress. They're going to stay down here. Ball was touched on the line.
Coach Martin going to that full court pressure that I talked about a couple minutes ago, trying to force Brookdale into a mistake. It worked that time.
That's another one of those close calls there, right at the baseline.
Yeah, right on the baseline, yes.
Long three. Up, and in treetops there.
Almost got that roll.
Yeah.
Almost got that bounce.
That would have been something. Almost touched the shot clock. Full court press is killing Brookdale right now. It's really hurting them.
Someone's got to come down for Brookdale. They got 2 guys all the way on the other end of the court. They got to come down, help these guys out.
Coach Cusack is about to pop a gasket. They just had him at 38-31. And now it's only a 2-point lead for the Jersey Blues with just about 3.5 minutes remaining. They finally advanced the ball past half court, and now they have a chance to set up.
Brown almost walked with it, but he made a nice decision to get over to Grunski.
Very good heads-up play there. Very good court vision to find the open Grzeski to take the quick shot.
Brookdale in the 2-3 zone, trying to force Gloucester County to keep it outside.
But that's really kind of been Gloucester's game. You know, they've been taking a lot of these outside shots, not a whole lot in the paint because they don't have the size.
They don't have the size.
Very good shooting ability that's been on display by Vincent Anfield all night. Corey Brown gets it over, almost saved. Almost went out of bounds. It was saved by Isaiah Johnson. Corey Brown couldn't get the layup. And Coach Cusack is looking to his bench, talking to his coaches, trying to see what the next move is going to be. They keep switching over players. Isaiah Johnson isn't rotating. 23 is wide open in the corner. And he's staying open. Isaiah Johnson did not rotate over, and coach is not going to be happy about that one. He was yelling at him to come over to the corner.
And that is a textbook example of how you beat a zone defense. As we have a turnover here, Grzeski goes down to the floor.
Terrell Cox comes in. I mean, this is a huge swing of things. Brookdale was up by 7. Now they're down by 4 as we're closing out this first half. Full court press has been the thorn in their side. Corey Brown has the numbers and gets a lucky roll. He had a wide open Isaiah Johnson out in the wing, and he didn't toss it to him.
But the full court pressure that Gloucester County has been bringing the last couple of minutes is really starting to give Brookdale a lot of fits. And I got to be honest with you, Corey Brown was lucky that he got that finger roll to go.
Yeah. Anfield wide open in the corner, but he takes it, and he's still good. Expect some major adjustments in halftime for Coach Cusack. I would expect to see them in the locker room for majority of the time. William Gay trying to charge the basket, and he's going to get called. Gloucester's going to get called on a blocking foul.
Fouls on number 55, Harris Patterson. First personal, 6, team foul.
So that's 6 on Gloucester now, 6 fouls. Not quite in the bonus, but
they did a good job of really stalling it until the very end of starting to build up on those fouls. Only at 6 with 1 minute left. Brookdale as well. I mean, they just very recently put Gloucester in the bonus. So started off the bat a little bit bad with Crosby getting 3 fouls. Isaiah Johnson trying to get out of that swarm of Gloucester defenders there, and he does. He's going to take an open three. That's his third miss in a row. It's tough when you're down by 4. Those are ones you got to make. Terrell Cox.
And that's a charge.
Stood in there, ice in his veins, and he took that charge.
And I said it in the women's game. It's really, really hard when you got a guy who's full speed coming right at you to stand there and take that charge. But that's a good call by the officials. I like that call. Cox has set his feet. In that situation, that's an easy call. It's the times where you don't set your feet and you expect a charge, and the official looks at you and says, well, you didn't set your feet.
And they 2 wide open threes, they have to make them. At least they get it there to William Gay on the inside to close it to 2 points before the half. Hoping to get some good defense on this possession as the shot clock is turned off. 47-45, trying to stop this clot this wound right now, and it's really having a tough time now. Brookdale trying to get it past half court. 10 seconds on the clock now, trying to get the last shot off. Brian Reese Jr. now in the wing. Corey Brown moves up, finds Isaiah Johnson.
Oh,
and
nice
one. He gets a shot for 3.
Isaiah Johnson hits the line for 1. Assisted by Brown.
We got 0.8 of a second as Isaiah Johnson is going to take a free throw.
Second personal, 8. Team foul.
Right is basically right as he gets that shot. Clock's basically going to expire right when they touch him. Maybe they'll have a chance at a full court shot here, but it'll be very, very questionable. No good there. So Brookdale was up 38-31 at one point. Started to let it slip away, and it really started to get out of hand. But now 49-48. Only a 1-point deficit going to the half. What do they got to do to bring it back in the second half?
Well, first of all, they got to do better at being able to handle Gloucester County's full court press. It's one of those things that they've really, really struggled with. And ever since they've implemented it, it was like 4 or 5 minutes left in the first half. They've really gone on a run, and Gloucester County has really taken control of this game. So Brookdale, if they can beat that, I think that they have a good opportunity to pull this out pretty easily.
I agree with you.
But if they can't stop that full court press, it's going to be a very, very long night. And for Coach Martin, for Gloucester County, all he has to do is tell his players, look, you're doing great. Let's just keep holding Brookdale with that full court press because right now they can't handle it.
That has been really the bane of Brookdale in this first half, and it started to show towards the end. They were getting really tired. Coach Shizak was getting very frustrated trying to get on his guys and try to get them, roll over to the defenders, come help out your guys. But we're going to see how they do coming into the second half. 49-48 with Gloucester in the lead. We'll be right back in about 15 minutes. Welcome back, everybody, here to the Robert J. Collins Arena for the second half of action. The Brookdale men's facing off against the Rowan College at Gloucester County Roadrunners. It's a mouthful. 49-48.
That's why we just stick with Gloucester County.
Gloucester County or Roadrunners. That's the way to go. 49-48. They grabbed the lead at the end. Brookdale was starting to get a little sloppy on offense. They couldn't penetrate past that full court press. It was really killing them there. We'll see if Coach Chris Martin is going to go to it early in the second half. What do you think?
He probably will, because that was really the only thing that Brookdale really struggled with. They started with the full court press. Gloucester County did early in the game. It was met with a little bit of resistance. Brookdale had some trouble, but then they kind of shied away from it. Then late in that first half, they started doing it again, and that really started causing Brookdale some trouble. Gloucester County was able to make up a 7-point deficit at one point, and now they have a 1-point lead coming into the game, or coming into the second half. So I definitely don't think, if you're smart and if you're wanting to stay up as far as leaders go for Gloucester County, Coach Martin, I definitely think he's going to implement that for the second half.
Absolutely. Keep an eye on number 10 here, Vincent Anfield of Gloucester, not only playing a great defensive game, but he has been draining threes late in that first half. Terrell Cox with the ball right now on offense. Brian Crosby still on the bench, but Noah Dean with the 3. And with the bit of an unnecessary foul there. He stopped the fast break, but they might have had a man coming down.
I was just going to say the same thing, Pat. In a situation like that, don't reach. If you're already beat, there's no sense in reaching and picking up an unnecessary foul.
And you saw Coach Shizak with his head in his hands. That's kind of been the attitude here, where Brookdale was up at one point, but it's been a very shaky game for them. They haven't played consistently.
And remember, that was one of the keys to the game that we talked about earlier. Watch the fouls. Be smart. Keep your hands at your sides.
Quick basket there, and they are sticking with that full court press. Devon Bennett was open. They got some of the more fast guys out on the court. And it's grabbed, and here he goes. Almost all alone there. Terrell Cox couldn't get on the defense. Vincent Anfield is lighting it up out there tonight.
Sloppy passes, and again, you can't go cross court in basketball. You just can't do that. You have to stick with whoever is closest to you. And even in this situation, I don't understand why these cross court passes. You got to have more players down on the one side of the court to help the guys who are bringing the ball up.
Isaiah Johnson. He is keeping this team in it. He is really the glue tonight. Oh, Paris Patterson almost lit it on fire.
Alley-oop, and I saw it. He just couldn't quite grab it.
He almost made this the Paris Patterson arena with that dunk.
Almost. And that look on Coach Zizek's face says it all.
Yeah. 18:33 remaining, 53-50. Roadrunners in the lead against the Jersey Blues. And they get a pass. It was a good passing there all around. And Isaiah Johnson didn't have the right position there. But it was a good look.
That's the way to beat the full court press, though. You have to take it one step at a time. You can't rush it too quickly and try these long cross-court passes, because with a full court press, more than likely you're going to get it intercepted one of these times.
Yeah. That was kind of one of those ticky-tacky fouls called there. There wasn't a whole lot. See Joe Nickerson there being a great guy, feeding babies. I mean, you couldn't ask more out of Joe.
I saw Joe before the game. He was commenting on our Domino's Pizza. He says, "Is there any info there for me?" I said, "Well, with all the playing time that you've had, I'm sure there's a couple pieces in there for you."
You can get a pie, Joe. You can get a pie for yourself.
Blues ball.
So you start calling this Domino's Court at the Robert J. Collins Airlines Arena. Switch it up. And Isaiah Johnson could have popped it, but he played it smart. Down by 3, would have tied it, but he did have a defender coming in his face.
And that's a smart play, because it was early in the shot clock. Set up for a better shot. You had to run the risk of missing that shot. Set up for a better shot.
Terrell Cox can usually hit that one. Norbert Allen got hit from behind on the putback. That was knocked out of bounds. Blues ball.
Nice low-look pass inside to Allen.
Allen muscles his way right to the basket. 53-52, cut it down to that 1-point lead that it was at the half. Anfield. Good. Right over to Tyree Brown. Tyree Brown, Vincent Anfield have been really just torching the defense of Brookdale, and he's going to get called out of bounds, it looks like.
Just lost his footing a little bit and stepped on the baseline. You know, Pat, I found it interesting. Brookdale's only averaging 57 points a game. Now, obviously, we're probably going to surpass that mark. Yeah. But I just found it interesting looking at the stats from the last couple of games. They're only averaging 57 points per game.
Yeah, we spoke a little bit about that on Tuesday, me and Sean, and we said the same thing. We were shocked at, how electric they were last year. Gloucester's looking like an electric team this year. They're just draining threes as they just did there. This full court defense is really doing great for them. But, I mean, Brookdale, maybe they're starting to bring it back. They scored 94 points on Tuesday, almost reached 100 points. And here's the guy that's really doing it is Isaiah Johnson.
Absolutely.
He's averaging a decent amount. I had the stat on Tuesday. I don't have it. I know he scored 17 points in the last game before Tuesday. And he has just been the star of this team.
He had 20 points against the game in Atlantic.
There we go, yeah. Devon Bennett pushing it down the middle. 3 defenders around him. Dean grabbed the rebound, just
tippy toes on that baseline.
You got that right. Terrell Cox hitting a big 3, bringing them right back into it. But they need to start getting a lead and doing well, not only on offense, but on defense, where they've been struggling mightily tonight.
Brookdale back to man-to-man on defense here.
Terrell Cox getting screens on both sides of him, but he sticks with the defender. And that's what I'm talking about. Great defense there, and Norbert Allen trying to clean it up.
Ooh. Cox got to get called for the foul, I think. May have even gotten bumped in the mouth again.
That's the second shot of the night. Coach Chizak is... I think sometimes he gets tired of yelling. You just get frustrated. You get very frustrated at those fouls. I mean, Brookdale has 3 in the opening 4.5 minutes, as opposed to Gloucester's 0.
I think Coach Chizak is just frustrated with these fouls. I mean, in that situation with Cox, that's a foul, but a couple of the other fouls, committed by some of the other players, those are questionable. You have to eliminate those, especially in a close game like that, late in the game. If Gloucester County gets in the bonuses, you get a nice play by Noah Dean. That could be huge as far as down the stretch.
Definitely, yeah. And with those missed free throws down the other end, Dean ties it up and has the opportunity to take the 1-point lead to make it a 60-59 game. We are all tied up at the moment as he heads to the stripe. We would like to thank Domino's, as always, for sponsoring us and the men's and women's Jersey Blues basketball teams this season. Located at 60 English Plaza in downtown Red Bank. Head into the store, order online or on the app on your phone. Get some pizza, get some chicken wings. Get it all. Go nuts.
I like those chicken wings, Pat.
The chicken wings are good.
I like those chicken wings.
Are you a boneless man or a bone man?
Oh, you got to go boneless.
All right, good. We can remain friends then. Michael Smith also having a good game. Tosses it right inside to Tyree Brown. Got himself in a little bit of foul trouble earlier, so he sat out a decent portion of the first half, but he is back playing a clean game. .15 minutes remaining, and the touch there by Terrell Cox didn't land. Anfield, pop-up jumper, airballed it. Brian Reese Jr. was cut into the basket, but he had a defender close in on him.
Nice cut inside.
He's got
Bennett,
Reese
but he
open.
ran out of room.
I think that was a not a really smart move by Bennett there. He had Reese wide open as he had 2 defenders on him. And he had the position on the defender to sneak the ball around him. Of course, easier said than done, but Tavon Bennett's a very skilled player. It's a play that he can absolutely make.
The problem was he picked up his dribble right when he was underneath the basket when 2 defenders, and that's probably the worst possible place that you can be in.
Yeah.
Because you're helpless at that point.
Especially when you're only standing at 6'1", you're not one of these big guys that are out on the court.
Nice rebound by Isaiah Johnson.
A physical player like Isaiah Johnson, he is just really been a huge bright spot. Freshman guard, coming out of Trenton, and he is doing great things for this basketball team.
With the and one on that play.
Fouls on number 23, Ronnie Russell. Second personal.
Crosby coming in, picking up 3 early fouls. Noah Dean coming out. Maria Trapp hanging out in the crowd and supporting the men after having herself a pretty good game as well, as always. She's always pulling down rebounds and putting up shots.
Yeah, really contributed to that 67-58 victory earlier tonight against the women's Gloucester County.
63 all now, just under 14 minutes remaining. Driving in, a nice job there, Tavon Bennett, by rolling over and not giving up an easy 3-pointer, because he could have sank that. Trying to find the inbound now, and he gets it over to Anfield. Melvin's been another guy who's really been doing very well this game.
He has. He's done a great job just working the ball around. He's also taken some nice shots.
Quietly been doing well. A nice job by Crosby just getting his hands up. Over to finding Terrell Cox, and he gets fouled. So Crosby came in the game, and even before that, not knocking anybody else, but before that they started to catch up. Now Crosby's in this game. If he can not pick himself up another foul too early, then he's really going to electrify both sides of the ball for the Jersey Blues.
Well, Crosby's definitely a bonus because of his size. He's a big guy down low. He's 6'8". He's got a lot of talent. He's a big guy. He's a big target on offense and on defense in particular down low. So for him to have those 3 early fouls, I think hurt Brookdale, but they were still able to get around that issue. But now with him being in the game, I think they might possibly have a little bit easier time guarding themselves down low.
I think so too, and 2 missed free throws there hurt There goes a three from the corner, rebounded by Tavon Bennett. I mixed it up. I was looking at my notes for the men's game before. The men's Gloucester County, as we're going to get a jump ball here.
Jump ball.
Possession's going to go to Gloucester. The Gloucester men's squad with head coach Chris Martin at the helm has not beaten the Jersey Blues yet.
Very interesting.
As a region opponent who faces them twice a year, I didn't see exactly when Chris Martin came as the head coach of Gloucester, but he has not beaten Coach Chesak and his Blues yet, and it's a close game.
Well, they have a perfect opportunity tonight, not to discredit Brookdale, but I mean, both of these teams, and we talked about this in the opening, these are two equally matched teams. Gloucester County has a little bit better record, but I think that Brookdale has had a little bit more of a tougher schedule. So I think it's a very evenly matched game, and you're seeing it. We're tied with 12 minutes remaining.
I think Brookdale doesn't always play like their record shows. It's a very young team. So there's a lot of mental mistakes and a lot of things that hurt them down the line because it's not just a few of them like a veteran team would make. They're constantly making these small little mistakes that surmount up, and it really bites them in the end.
And Gloucester County is a young team, too. They have a lot of freshmen on their squad, so there's a lot of similarities between these teams.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of ironic that we're tied right now, and it's pretty equal thus far.
So a couple missed possessions there on both sides of the court. We're still tied at 63-all. With just about 12 minutes remaining in this game. Terrell Cox, after a call was played out, Coach Chesak on the sideline. The three for Isaiah Johnson falls short.
You hear assistant coach Jared Price shouting from the sidelines.
Nice little pullback jumper there, but it goes in and out. 11:35 now. Still tied 36, so a couple of stale possessions here from both teams. Now we're going to get a chance for a couple of free throws from Brian Crosby.
And that's where him being on the court helps out Brookdale, because you saw a nice feed into him. He's able to turn around and get the defender in the air. Again, using that pump fake and get to the line.
Freshman center. Went to my graduating class at Middletown North, where he played both basketball and football, did very well in both, now bringing his talents to the Jersey Blues.
Certainly when you have a size and you have the capability, you have the athleticism as that, you can certainly play both sports, football and basketball.
Absolutely. Because, you know, one of them keeps you in shape in the offseason. It's always been a big thing. You know, you try to play at least two sports. A lot of football guys who are wide receivers and defensive backs will try to do track in the offseason to keep the speed and stay in shape. Try to do a little bit of both. Get a nice repertoire going. Another missed free throw. That's three missed free throws for Brookdale this second half.
Yeah, Brookdale's only shooting 66% from the free throw line so far this year, which is not a great number as a team. Particular in close games like that, free throws are going to come down and they're going to get back to bite you if you don't get them down now.
64-63 with 11 and a half left.
Brookdale's fourth team foul and a half.
Coach Ball's yelling out orders from the sideline. Defense is looking solid.
5 seconds.
Yeah. Defense was just in the middle of the game. Defense is looking very solid on this possession right now.
Nobody was really moving for Gloucester County. They were kind of just standing around. It caught them off guard, I think.
Good job of penetrating past the full court. Brian Crosby has an awkward angle there. Now he's going to get pulled from the game. Noah Dean coming over. When he talked to Coach Chesak, I remember him saying, if you're not producing, you're out. Big three there, and that hurts.
Another one for Russell from that corner.
That corner is dangerous. They keep leaving it open, and it's really, really hurting them. So Crosby's going to come out. He didn't pick up any more fouls, but performance end, he wasn't all there this half. When he first came in, he was doing well. But since then, I mean, that last mistake there, a couple of the possessions ago, the missed free throw, it's tough. It's real tough. 66-64 with 11:07 left in this game.
I'll be interested to see when Brookdale comes out of this timeout if Coach Zizek goes back to playing zone.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about Gloucester County's been knocking down a lot of perimeter threes.
Yep.
The way to stop that is to go to a 2-3 zone or a 3-2 zone and force them to go inside, force them to drive inside a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not to say that Gloucester County can't do that and drive inside and get some points, but possibly take away those perimeter shots. I'll be interested to see if Coach Zizek switches it over from man-to-man to zone.
We'll see if he does that. Take a bit of an extension. What's the road ahead look like for Brookdale? I know we're going to have a little bit of a break coming up. They have a couple more games in the women. What are they looking like coming ahead?
Well, they're going to go to Sussex County this Saturday, the 20th. Then they're going to take a break for the winter break. They're going to come back on January the 3rd. Going to go up to Union County. Then they're at Harrisburg Arena, or Harrisburg area in Community College. Then they're at Bergen, so they're going to have 4 straight road games for this team.
3 coming off the break.
Exactly, before they come home, which will be here for the 17th when they come home to play Passaic. But 4 straight road games for this team, 1 before the winter break and then 3 after. So the schedule is definitely not any easier. And remember, last year we had Union County who came in. They were a very talented squad, so a lot of tough games coming up. Bergen as well, tough team too.
If you remember correctly, during the Union game, they brought their owl mascot.
They did bring the owl.
And that was
I missed the owl.
The owl came, and the owl and the fans got a little unruly. Athletic director Sean Noel had to go lay down the law.
They got tossed out of the game, a couple of them, which, I mean, I don't have anything against rooting for your team, but they were getting a little bit too much over there on the one side.
I spoke with Sean Noel, and he said, it's different in a big arena where you're up in the nosebleeds and nobody can hear what you're saying. We're in a small arena. We're all right here. And we say before every game, we play the sportsmanship message. They do it now at basically every level where, you're here to watch the game. Watch the game. You can have a good time, root on your team. Just don't get out of hand. I asked him if he thinks there's going to be any animosity. He said no. He doesn't think so.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see when they go back to Union County to see if there will be any animosity. A home crowd is always tougher to play.
They come back here on the 27th of January. So we're going to see them here once more. And maybe the Owl's going to make a reappearance. Who knows?
Maybe they'll bring their owl.
Maybe
bring the owl. If you're out there, Union County, bring your owl. Love to see it here.
And I remember at one point they brought out the Jersey Blue mascot.
To match the owl.
Yeah, Brian Reese Jr. swinging it down. Yeah, a lot of defenders around him couldn't finish at the basket. 68-64. We're at 10.5 minutes left in this game.
And you're starting to see Gloucester County pull away just a little bit.
Yeah.
They're knocking more shots down at the free throw line than Brookdale. And I told you, free throws are going to come back to bite them if they don't start knocking them down.
3-pointer there by Anfield misses. He's been money all night from that spot. And there's Terrell Cox. Spot up jumper. Goes a little short. It's been all around tough for Brookdale. Isaiah Johnson's been consistent for the most part, but everybody else has shown flashes of some really great play, and then they've struggled at times. There goes Anfield on the inside, no shot.
We're going to get a walk.
Referee spotted that one. He gets called 68-64 still. Brookdale ball. And here he comes, right on cue, Isaiah Johnson. Terrell Cox coming out. I would say Johnson probably get at least solid 4 to 5 minutes in before they give him a break.
Yeah, he's definitely someone that Brookdale needs on the floor.
Once he got off that 1-point lead that kept switching back and forth, went to a 4-point lead in favor of the Roadrunners. And, oh, man, Corey Brown, it looked good going towards the basket, but it fell apart once he got to it.
Again, another open three.
Brookdale got lucky on that one. Isaiah Johnson slows it up as he got surrounded by defenders.
Johnson had Tavon Bennett in the corner. Bennett a little bit frustrated that he didn't get that look.
Coach wasn't too happy either. Brian Reese Jr. was trying to cut to the basket, but it was good defense rolling over. He's still down by the baseline trying to get his way in there, and he does.
Nice way of muscling his way in there by Brian Reese. Whoa.
Falling down there.
Melvin's got lucky that he got called on that foul.
Yeah. So
Reese is still bent over.
That's more frustration than anything.
Possibly.
Sixth foul for Brookdale this half. Trying to plead his case to the official, as is Coach Chizak. They ain't hearing it. 68-66. And they are looking to make it 70 with these two shots. The first one coming from Melvin's. And it's good.
Adonis Melvin has had a pretty good game so far.
A quiet
game. We haven't called his name a lot, but he's done a lot on the offensive end. He's been able to work the ball around a lot.
And the second shot goes. They brought it back up to a 4-point lead. 8:45 left. And the full court press is killing him. Brian Reese Jr., though, they find the hole, and he gets fouled. Going to the rim. So Brookdale trying to draw some of these fouls. Hopefully maybe try to get into the bonus and work their way to the double bonus, which is going to help if they can't cut this lead down later on in the game. Brian Reese Jr. makes the first one.
And that was a must-needed foul shot made for Brookdale. They're going to have to start knocking them down, because the way that this game is turning out, this is going to come down, I think, to a foul shooting contest at the end.
It could, very well could. And if it comes down to a three-point play, I'm giving Gloucester the edge. They have been on fire behind the arc.
They've got Ronnie Russell, who's continued to knock those down from the corner.
As well as Vincent Anfield.
As Melvin travels with basketball.
Big possession there. Now Brookdale needs to tie it up. They get past there. Isaiah Johnson hesitated, rolled in. Oh, man. But there's no foul called on that one.
Both him and William Harris were down on the floor for a long time.
Yeah. Coach was not happy with that one, and I would have to agree with him.
Coach Chizak is just not happy. Both coaches are a little bit confused about something.
Coach Chris Martin doesn't agree that it hit the top of the backboard, and Coach Chizak thinks he should have got a foul on that line.
Isaiah Johnson.
Can't win it. The refs are sandwiched right now.
It's hard to be a ref.
Oh, you're telling me.
Johnson wide open.
Oh. Noah Dean tried to get him to get a one-point lead. He was out of position when he was under the basket. The three didn't go. At the foul line now, and he starts to drive in. Shot no good, no foul called.
Harris wanted the foul, but he's not going to get it.
Isaiah Johnson. What more could you ask from him?
Johnson.
Some of the assistant coaches wanted a foul
They
there
did.
for
Coach
Isaiah
Brunson,
Johnson.
he was out of his seat in the second.
But you have to look at what the officials have to be fair. They didn't call a foul on Harris.
Sometimes it's a give and take game, and that was called against Brookdale. So, blocking foul called against Isaiah Johnson.
Fouls on number 11, Isaiah Johnson.
That's his first, so that's good news.
It's only Johnson's first foul,
Very
which
good
is actually
news.
hard to believe.
It is. Got some questionable calls coming down the stretch on both sides of the court. 1-and-1 opportunity here, so he makes the first. He can take the second. Now they're clearing it out, so they can get ready for the defense. Just under 7 minutes remaining. 72-70. Gloucester lead, and Coach Chris Martin is going to take a timeout.
I think he just wants to discuss with his team Just reaffirm the game plan with just a couple minutes left.
Draw something up.
He's only got 2 more timeouts. Now 1 timeout, I'm sorry, 1 more timeout. Definitely making use of those timeouts.
Yeah, coming down the stretch here, this is going to be a big possession coming out for Brookdale. If they got to tie it up and then really come back on the other side and do something on defense again.
I think Brookdale has done a very good job so far this second half. The one thing that worries me a little bit is their foul shooting from the free throw line. I just don't feel that they're on par with Gloucester County. And again, coming into this game, they're only shooting 66% as a whole from the foul line, which is not a great number, in particular in a close game like this.
Very close game, been going back and forth, 72-70.
Now, this is interesting. Gloucester County not pressuring Brookdale anymore.
Playing a little bit more safe now that we're getting down here. I think the full court press is really trying, when they were in the lead, or trying to pull away from a lead.
Laying off of it a little bit. You're right, Pat.
Brian Reese Jr. open from the wing, and it's good. Three-pointer. Coach Shizak's a happy man. How could you not be after that one?
And that's a big bucket by Reese.
Let's see if he can capitalize now on defense. His man's got the ball, and he does. A little help from Johnson there as well as he was rotating over. Put a hand there on the ball, and right over to Dean. Nice vision there, but
there's a nice dump off by Brown, but unfortunately Dean just couldn't get it to go down.
Yeah, that was not a great shot by him. We'll see if Coach Shizak's going to start looking towards the bench. He is not. He's going to roll with this lineup for the time being. Isaiah Johnson didn't rotate over. Now he's giving him too much of a bubble. That's the second time he did that, and that's the second three that was made.
And Coach Shizak, as you see on our monitor, is not happy with that. You got to come out on these guys. Gloucester County is such a good three-pointing shooting team. You can't give them any open looks. You got to at least get a hand in their face.
Too much of a bubble. And there's Brian Reese Jr. once more. Another and it looked good, and it was good. Two in a row. Brian Reese is just injecting life into this Brookdale offense. 76-75. Brookdale has the lead with 5:15 remaining. Coach Chris Martin making a big personnel change, going to send in 3 guys off the bench as they chuck up 3 of their own, and we're just trading shots here.
Ronnie Russell.
Just all
What's
three.
about, that's his 6th or 7th three? I mean, my goodness. And that time, he did have a hand in his face.
No good for Cox. Dean muscles it away. That window closed very rapidly there. But over to Terrell Cox in the corner. He's been struggling with the long ball this game.
Dean was lucky he didn't get called for an over-the-back call. He was trying to grab that rebound away from Russell. Lucky he didn't get over the back on that one. Have to be so careful down this stretch. You want to grab that ball so bad, but you got to be really careful you don't come over the back on somebody, because that's an easy call for the official.
Isaiah Johnson has given a big cushion again on defense. And he still isn't closing the gap.
Nice
Came over
fake.
too late, yeah. But he recovered very well on defense. He's a quick player. He's got very quick feet.
Brown going to get fouled.
That was away from the basket, and with Gloucester doing a good job of staying out of foul trouble, Brookdale is not in the bonus. They are nearing towards it with 6 fouls now for Gloucester. 4:01 remaining. Still has the lead at 78-76.
And Brown enter the game for the Rowan.
There's the big change there, putting in the starters back into the game.
Interesting to know, Crosby is still on the bench for Brookdale. Almost gets a 5-second call.
Yeah.
Chisak's forced to burn a timeout.
I would expect to see Crosby come out in the next minute or so if he doesn't come out on this possession. Look for around the 3-minute mark to see him come back in.
He still has those 3 fouls, so you don't want to put him in too early.
Yeah. 3 fouls at around that time of the game, though, it's not that bad. It's still pretty good play.
But you also have to always throw in that equation of overtime just in case, because we're in this situation. We've been tied up quite a bit in this game. We've had about 5 or 6 ties could easily go into overtime.
Very good point. Very good point.
And then those fouls really come back to bite you.
4:01 as we have the cheerleaders entertaining us. A little bit of lull in action here with a timeout. We will recognize Domino's of Red Bank, located at 60 English Plaza in downtown Red Bank. If you don't know already, if you haven't ordered already, you still got time. Go on the app or online at Domino's.com. Make yourself an account and build a pizza profile so you can just couple clicks, couple taps on your phone for any future orders. It's already being made and at your door very shortly after that. Domino's of Red Bank, 60 English Plaza.
That little guy that we showed in the monitor has a nice little souvenir. It's like a father and son holding their basketball. That's a nice little souvenir of that little guy.
Future Jersey Blue, maybe. Who knows? Who knows what the world beholds ahead of us.
So Crosby's still going to be on the bench. Johnson's in.
He's stuck with the lineup.
Haven't seen Norbert Allen, though, in a while, though. He's been on the bench pretty much, I'd say, the entire second half.
At this time right now where you're really, oh, man, and blocked there was Noah Dean trying to muscle it back away.
Easy, guys, easy.
Jump ball, and the possession arrow is down this way, so Brookdale's going to keep it. I think at this point in the game, Norbert Allen doesn't fit into the game plan. He's very high pace, very fast, and he has a tough time getting up and down the court at a fast pace as some of the other guys. Noah Dean is one of the big guys who's got a lot of speed behind him.
Probably right, Pat.
Isaiah Johnson. Oh, man. It doesn't get any better than that. 78 all now. 3:40 left in this game. And Gloucester is going to slow it up. What more could you say about Isaiah Johnson and his performance tonight? And just over the last month.
Extremely talented guy. Definitely going to be someone that Brookdale's going to depend on. Stepping up as probably a future leader of this team.
Nice job there.
Anfield may have gotten away with 3 steps there.
Brian Reese, don't leave him open. Oh, it is good. That's his third three-pointer in the past 5 minutes.
And that could not have come at a better time for Brookdale. That puts them back up by 3 now with only 3 minutes remaining.
And I see fans on the sideline putting up the 3 goggles. He's hitting them. And there's a 3 of their own to try to. Oh, and that is going to hurt right there.
Clock's called with that foul on Melvin's. And that's shooting a 3, so Melvin will get 3 opportunities at the basket.
Third personal, 8. Team foul.
Officials going over to explain it to Coach Chizak, and of course he's not taking it.
No, he just turned his head into a way that I didn't know he could turn his head, and he is dumbfounded by the explanation he just got.
It's one of those touchy calls as Melvin makes the first free throw. It's one of those touchy calls in basketball. Personally, I was never a huge fan of it, but I understand why they put it in there. Because when you're in the motion of shooting, even after you let the ball go, when you get hit, it's still technically a foul. So I was never a huge fan of it. I got burned by it a couple times as a player, but I understand why it's in, and it's a good call by the official. Melvin was fouled while he was shooting.
That's why it can be a tough time for some people to stay on basketball and watch it, because a lot of the stops in action, those fouls where it's like, it's a physical game, let it play. And there's Terrell Cox getting physical himself. So he's going to get in there, sank the basket. Now he's got a chance to make it a 3-point play and give Brookdale a 3-point lead.
That's his 4th personal foul.
Huge. He made me forget what I was saying. That was so good. Now both teams in the bonus now. 1-1's going forward. Good.
It's a big foul shot by Cox.
Huge possession there for Brookdale.
Interesting to note, Tyree Brown's got 4 fouls, number 35. He's still in the game for Gloucester County. Now Cox going to get called with another foul.
Terrell Cox was very angry at first until he saw it go the other way. And I saw the expression on the face of the ref behind him. First one made. 2-point game now. Brookdale still in the lead with 2.5 left. And the second one made, back to a 1-point game just like that. Huge offensive possession here for Brookdale. They got to get it past half-court line quickly. Noah Dean hauls that one in. Tall pass.
And at this point for Brookdale, you want to take your time. You don't have a huge lead, but you definitely don't want to rush your shot at any point.
Terrell Cox really doing very well, taking over the offense in the past minute. 2-minute mark now. Big three put up. Oh, man. Timeout called as the game gets tied up 86-86. But this game is still very much in the hands of either team. With 1:47 left, this is getting very exciting here at the Collins Arena.
This is still anybody's ball game. I mean, Brookdale will go on a run. They'll get a couple of baskets. Then Gloucester County will come back, usually with a three to answer by either, their star players, Ronnie Russell, or a couple of the other guys who have done a fantastic job.
Yeah. Anfield was doing very well. He's been stagnant the last couple minutes of this half, but he was really what got it going.
But we still got 1:47 left.
And he's got that big playability. He can really hit a shot at any given time.
So I'll be interested to see if Chizak puts Crosby in. Brian Crosby with 3 fouls. Looks like Norbert Allen's going to go in.
I think something's telling me he's going to roll with the lineup he has.
Possibly.
I think he may just keep it rolling. It would be the smart move. Don't mess up the chemistry they have, because it's not like anybody's underperforming. They're all doing very well on both sides of the ball.
That is true.
And I mean, the women staying here watching the game are getting themselves a show, I'll tell you that much. But I really do think that he's going to stick with it, and I would if I was in his shoes. And that's why I'm not a basketball coach. But
well, don't get me wrong, I'm not a basketball coach by any stretch of the imagination.
I know just enough to get me in trouble, just enough about the sport. And he does stick with it.
Yeah, you're right, Pat. He is going to stick with it. That's probably the better move.
Yeah, because you don't want to mess up what they got going on right now. They're all clicking very well. They're all connected.
Full court presser by Gloucester.
Yep. Not surprising to see that come back, but I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it that much. Oh, man, Corey Brown, but nice rebound there by Dean. No foul called there. And Terrell Cox getting up there and playing great defense. 1:20 left, still tied up 86 all. Getting claps from both benches. Cheerleaders are in it. The crowd is in it. Fired up here, Terrell Cox.
He walked with it.
Yeah, his feet moved. His feet definitely moved. That was tough. This is
a little too many steps on that spin move.
Coach Chizak keeping the confidence in him.
Remember how I said earlier in the game, Coach Martin is a very quiet, subdued guy? He's not very subdued on the sidelines anymore.
No. Almost tapped in. Noah Dean trying to grab it. Oh, and it winds up in the hands. Number 23, Ronnie Russell. And Brookdale's pushing it. They're going to catch him sleeping. Corey Brown had Noah Dean. He keeps the ball. Oh, and the circus shot doesn't land for him.
Oh. Tyree Brown was lucky that he kept his pivot foot down, because he had two guys on him trying to keep that ball. Almost picked up his pivot foot. Would have been a turnover.
So 1-1 now. Brookdale's still in it. If they can, this free throw lands, and it'll be a little bit tougher of a spot.
And I know Corey Brown was looking to try to catch Gloucester County sleeping.
Yeah.
But in that situation, when you're down by 2 and you got a minute left, you got to pull up and try to set up a good shot. I wasn't all that thrilled with that last offensive possession for Brookdale.
88-86 with Gloucester County in the lead and taking free throws. First one goes, so now he can take a second. 34.8 seconds left once he's done taking his second free throw. 3-point game. Makes it. So now it's 2-possession game for the Jersey Blues with 33 seconds, counting down. 1 second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Brian Reese Jr., Noah Dean down low. And a 3-pointer for Terrell Cox. It's good! And now they're only down by 1. Timeout taken by Coach Paul Chizak. We still got ourselves a ball game here, folks. This is very exciting here. Don't turn that TV off just yet. Still breathing life into this Brookdale team is Terrell Cox.
That was a huge shot by Cox. And I got to be honest with you, when I first saw Dean throw it back out to Cox, my initial reaction was, why are you throwing it back out? Because he had an opportunity to lay it in easily. But I didn't see Cox coming down. And Cox, we've said it many time and time again, knocking down those threes late in the game. Him and Isaiah Johnson have done a fantastic job.
Yeah, I think it was a smart move to feed it to the guy with the hot hand. I feel like if I was in that situation, I probably would have taken the easy shot, but Noah has great court vision, and he saw Cox coming up undefended in a prime spot for him to just knock down that three and right back in it.
And all three of those guys we mentioned, all freshmen, so they're learning on the job. They're learning quickly.
And that three-point play puts them in a better position now, because if they do choose to foul early, if they do get it past, and they make both free throws, it brings it back to that 1-possession game where they're only down by 3 points now instead of 4. So they still have a chance, if they can keep some time on the clock, of getting a tie game possibly, depending on how this possession goes. We'll see what Coach Chizak drew up for him.
It's going to depend on what Coach Chizak wants to do. If he wants to play defense, which he really can't, because the shot clock is turned off, so he's going to have to foul at some point.
Exactly.
Maybe go for a quick steal, but he's going to have to foul. Tyler Grozensky is now coming in.
He's a great shooter. Grozensky is a fantastic shooter. But Cox is off the bench, which is somewhat surprising. He just made that three. But you can't doubt Grozensky's talent as an outside shooter.
Maybe a little offense-defense here.
I think he only let a few more seconds off that clock, and then you try. Oh, they stripped it! Isaiah Johnson keeps the ball. He's going to get right in there, and he gets fouled. Huge play there.
And that's what I was talking about, trying to get that quick steal, or else they were going to be forced to foul, but they were able to get that quick steal in there.
You called it exactly. They needed that steal, double-teamed him. That was great. Huge possession there. Now, Isaiah Johnson, one of your great free throw shooters, great shooters all around, is at the line to take a 1-point lead if he sinks both of them, if not tied up with 14.3 seconds left on this game clock.
Now, this is a 2-shot foul, so even if he misses this first one, they won't have to worry about Gloucester County getting a rebound.
First one misses. A lot of pressure. I mean, you can't. You're putting him in a tough spot.
Well, even if he misses this second one, the game's not over, but it's just going to make it more difficult for Brookdale.
This is huge right here.
Clapping on the bench doesn't help.
Ooh, and it lands. He gets a nice bounce. Tied up. 14-13. Huge defense now. Not trying to foul.
Yeah, you do not want to foul in this situation. You want to let the game play out.
7 seconds, and we're counting down. We'll let the game play itself out.
Oh.
Shot doesn't land. End of regulation there.
We're headed to overtime.
We're headed to overtime, Tim. It's very exciting. This is the first overtime game I've been a part of here.
First overtime game I've been a part of.
I've never seen one here, so, I mean, this is very exciting here. Keep it locked, everybody, here. Brookdale TV, we're not going anywhere. We're going to talk you through this overtime here. This is great.
And remember how I said Brookdale averaging only 57 points per game? We're up to 90 already, and we're going to overtime.
And another thing you pointed out earlier that now comes into play is foul trouble.
Exactly.
You call that overtime, saying it was a close game, and it became a reality.
Now is where fouls are really going to be the name of the game, because you only have 5 minutes in this half, or in this overtime period.
Yeah.
It's going to be, for the first 2 or 3 minutes, it's going to be like a normal game. But once we start getting down to those final 2 minutes, we're going to see what we just saw, more critical shots from the foul line. And unfortunately now for people like number 35, on Gloucester County, Tyree Brown, who's got 4 fouls. You have to now start thinking, okay, who's got fouls to burn? And in this case, this is where guys like Brian Crosby, who, even though he's got 3 fouls, he's got 2 to burn. If that does indeed be the case, Tyler Gorinsky is also another one who's got fouls to burn.
Isaiah Johnson.
Isaiah Johnson's only got that 1 foul. So
huge coming into this now.
Definitely a lot of options if you need to foul.
So if you are just joining us, you have been missing out on a great game, but you will now see the conclusion. We are in overtime. They get a 5-minute period to put this game in the books. Coach Chris Martin of the Gloucester County Roadrunners has not beaten Cheesax Jersey Blues yet since he came onto the team. Tip will go to Dean. Muscled it, but no, they're going to...
I think they're going to redo it. Or no, I think we're going to get... I'm not sure.
Couldn't hear exactly what the call was. We'll see.
Jump ball violation.
Brooks might say, okay, it's a jump ball violation.
So Gloucester County, by virtue of the possession, will take it.
Possession arrow in Brookdale's way, so that can definitely factor into the end of the game.
Wide open in the corner again.
Huge. Can't leave that open.
Ronnie Russell, we've called his name quite a bit tonight.
Yeah.
And he likes those corner shots.
Both 23s, wearing Michael Jordan's old number, have been draining threes. Him and Brian Reese Jr. And they've both been getting left open. And there he is, calling his own number. Dean puts it up, and it's good.
Nice job bringing it back down, putting it back up.
Consistent possessions in overtime is what's really going to be the deal breaker. Terrell Cox is waiting in the wings to come in. Another 3 goes up.
Tyree Brown, 4 fouls, still playing hard, though. Gets that 3 to go down. And very quickly, Pat, we're down. Brookdale's down by 4.
Noah Dean grabs the ball again. Been a huge part of this game, and easy points. He's got to keep getting them. He's keeping them in this right now. Very exciting game right now, folks. Pat Groth here, Tim Catalfamo here. An overtime possession now, 96-94. Gloucester in the lead, and they grab another basket there. To make it 98.
Tyree Brown again, underneath.
Gloucester
5 points in this overtime period.
For the moment now, they're getting away from the full court press. We'll see if they go to it later on. It's really what's been a big thorn in Brookdale's side. They started to penetrate past it more in the second half towards the end, and they got away from it. Isaiah Johnson going all the way around. He gets fouled.
It's going to be on Michael Smith.
Foul charge number 2.
That's his 3rd foul.
He has also gotten his name called a decent amount tonight. But I think at this point in the game, you're really not caring about fouls all that much. You're just, your eyes off that part of the scoreboard. You're looking at the 98-94 right now. 3 minutes, 24 seconds remaining as Isaiah Johnson makes his first free throw.
I mean, the situation for Smith, he's got 3 fouls. He's not really concerned about it right now. Obviously, you don't want to just commit fouls just to commit fouls just for the heck of it, but you want to not worry about that so much. The problem is going to be once you start getting 4 fouls. Once you get 4 fouls, then that's when you have to really be careful.
Yeah. Terrell Cox came back in the game. And Isaiah Johnson sinks his 2. He was the player who got that 1 ball at the very end, the second free throw that tied it up at 90 and really just ignited this offense again.
Brookdale in a zone here, a little bit of I'm sorry, just man-to-man. Confused me a little bit. They were all lining up.
Yeah.
We get a foul on Reese.
It's a tough call there.
Fouls on number 23, Brian Reese.
You see the official explaining to Vincent Anfried how you set your feet for a foul. Brian Reese still not happy with the call, but still.
Still trying to get an explanation as the first free throw is taken by Melvins, and it is a miss. Still a 2-point game in favor of the Roadrunners coming out of Gloucester County. Makes the second, just bounces in, 99-96, with 3 minutes left in this game. Overtime now, and this is where dreams are made and crushed.
Nice move inside.
Open lane. Took advantage of it. Smart play. Slowing things up now is Gloucester. Terrell Cox is laser focused.
Ooh! Johnson going to get called with a charge.
That was big.
Stepping in front there.
That was big.
Offensive foul number 1, Adonis Melvins.
Isaiah Johnson.
Personal foul.
So now both teams are in the double bonus. This is where things are going to start to get interesting now once we start going to the foul. Once fouls start getting committed and we go to the foul line to shoot 2 no matter what.
Yeah, we'll be shooting 2 foul shots no matter what. Anytime there's a foul from the rest of the game. Even if it goes into a second overtime, which it very well might.
Well, that would be, just throw all the papers up and this would be crazy.
Stats go out the window at that point.
Oh, Isaiah Johnson. He's making it look too easy here at the Collins Arena on this exhilarating Thursday night. Big block by Terrell Cox. Brookdale can push it now. They have the numbers.
But see, in this situation, you don't want to push it. You just want to take it nice and easy because remember, earlier in the second half, right at the end, Brookdale pushed the issue and almost cost them the game. In this situation, you want to be easy with it.
Very true. Corey Brown find himself another easy lane, and he takes it. You got to take that every time. Now you're up 3 points with 1:45 left in just one fell swoop like that.
Ooh, the foul on Dean here.
See how many fouls that is for Dean? I know he had at least 3. Yeah, that'll be his 4th. Yep.
Vincent Anfield. Correction fouls number 10, Noah Dean.
I think the refs are starting to get a little bit fed up with trying to get explanations out of them, but I mean, it's valid if you're a player. You want to know what you did wrong and how you can correct it for the next time.
Absolutely, and certainly as a player down the stretch, you have the intensity of the game, you have all the energy, you're feeding off of that. Your emotions are really, really high at that point.
And they can take over.
And they can take over, but you got to, as a player, you have to just kind of swallow your pride a little bit and just take it.
Yeah. 102 to 101 if he makes this. And he does. Now 1 point game, 1:37 left, and a timeout is going to be called by head coach Chris Martin of the Roadrunners.
That is their only timeout of this period. So they do not have any more timeouts.
Not a bad time to take it. Regroup. You're only down by 1 point now after that little word you could call for it. You know, running out of words here in my repertoire. Little we'll go with the generic one. Possessions that Brookdale had. And now you got to regroup. Only down by 1. This is huge.
One thing, though, that's keeping Gloucester County in this game is their free throw shooting ability from the line.
Yeah.
I don't think that they have missed a foul shot in the last 5 or 6 minutes, going all the way back to the second half. Mm-hmm. They have not missed a foul shot. It's really, really been very, very consistent down the line here. 1:37
remaining, 102 to 101 here at the Collins Arena. Lincroft, Brookdale's main campus here. Semester just ended, so we're going to get a little bit of a break after this game. We will be back here on Brookdale TV January 17th for a pair of Saturday afternoon games against Passaic County. The women at 1 o'clock and the men following soon after that at 3. And then you'll see us a lot for the next week after that on the 20th, the 24th, the 27th, the 29th. We're going to be busy.
4 games in the month of January.
Big stuff. 5 games.
5 games. I'm sorry, 5 games.
4 almost in the matter of a week.
4 games after the winter break, one before the semester starts, 4 after.
You got it.
That's what I was trying to say.
You got it. So,
come on, it's been a long. We're in overtime. It's a long day.
It's a long day. Corey Brown with possession, bringing it up with the 1 point lead for his team. So cross over there, and he is really finding these lanes very well. But that one didn't land for him this time.
He was hoping to get that foul. Didn't get it called.
Yeah. Isaiah Johnson standing there, taking another charge.
And that's 5
offensive foul
on Brown. He's out.
Tyree Brown. That's his 5th personal foul.
Big loss coming down the stretch.
for the Rowan.
I didn't catch who came in his place. Russell, I believe.
Interesting. Ronnie Russell is going to come out of the game.
They're going to put in Patterson.
Russell, one of those really good three-point shooters. A little bit confused, but maybe
well, I think
Coach
they're trying
Martin feels maybe a little bit better down low for Patterson.
Patterson
a little bit
matching
bigger
up on
body.
Dean. Yeah, because Dean has been doing great down there, so that's a better matchup, I would say, on the defensive side of the ball. Isaiah Johnson slipping up there. Ball gets knocked out. It seems like it was last touch by Gloucester, and the refs will rule it that way.
It's a good, clean block, though, by Gloucester.
It was.
Timeout. Brookdale.
And now Coach Chizik's going to use his timeout.
You couldn't ask for a better basketball game right now.
Absolutely not, especially to close out the semester. Boy.
Yeah. They're sending us out with a bang here. 102-101, Brookdale with the lead. They will have possession after this timeout. 1 minute exactly left on the game clock. I'm running out of water up here. We go into double overtime.
We're both running out of water up here.
We go into double overtime. Someone's going to have to make a water run for us.
We'll get Sean Noel down on the court to go get us some water.
Yeah. Cheerleaders sticking out, too, for this whole game. Big props to them.
And I got to be honest with you, Pat, it could very easily go into double overtime. With what we've seen and how close this game is and how critical the foul shots have been, and with Gloucester County being so good from the line, it could easily go into double overtime.
Even if you're just a fan of the sport of basketball, you've been for a treat this whole game. Been very exciting, back and forth. I mean, the highest lead of the night was only at 7 points, and that was only like that for a few minutes.
Yes, that was early in the first half. Ever since then, it's really been very, very close.
If we had a dedicated stat guy, I would love to see what the lead changes were, because it has to be in the 50s.
Or at least how many ties we've had as well.
How many lead changes there's been has to be at least in the 50s.
And everybody that has come out here tonight to the Robert J. Collins Arena, nobody is leaving. Everyone's still here.
Yeah. Even if you got to leave, you're going to switch your plans and you're going to stay for this game, because this is too exciting to leave right now. Right into Brian Reese Jr. Clean block once more. Loose ball foul, but possession arrow is on Brookdale's side. I'm sorry, jump ball.
It's a lucky break by Brookdale, getting that possession arrow to go their way.
That's saying it right when we came in, that the possession arrow was still down on Brookdale's side. Isaiah Johnson with the hesitation.
That was a nice drive, nice decision by Johnson. Draw that foul, go to the line.
That was big.
Calls number 10.
That was a very, very heads-up play by Isaiah Johnson right there.
Could have pulled up to make that shot, but he thought better of it, go inside. In particular, he knows a lot of these players for Gloucester County are in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Definitely trying to force them out of the game.
And if that was really Vincent Anfield's first foul of the game, that is extremely impressive. He's been playing a very good amount of minutes in this game. And if he picked up his first foul with 1 minute left in overtime, hats off to him.
And where does he live again, Pat?
He lives in Rancocas Valley.
You love saying that.
Oh,
hey,
man, it's great. Valley. Rancocas Valley. I got to visit it sometime. Oh, and it takes a roll for him.
That's a lucky roll. But
yeah.
You know what? Actually, now that's going to put Gloucester County in a little bit easier position.
Down by 2, 103-101, 45 seconds and ticking. Right over in the corner, wide open, but he came over for the defense.
Huge rebound by Dean.
I'm going to slow it up. Just about a 2-second differential between the clocks.
And now the roles are reversed. Now Gloucester County's in the position where they're looking to get a quick steal or a quick foul. If they're looking for the steal, they're going to have to foul quickly.
And one, Terrell Cox.
Terrell Cox.
Just as Brooks said, count it. That was good for Terrell Cox.
And that very well just might steal it, because now if Cox makes this free throw, that's going to put Brookdale up by 5 with 16 seconds left. Gloucester's going to have no other choice but to foul from the rest of the way out. If they still want to stay alive in this game, that is.
It's 2-possession game with 16 seconds left. This might be the final nail in the coffin here for tonight. We have an exact 2-second differential. Shot clock and game clock. Shot clock's off, I apologize. 3 doesn't go, and Isaiah Johnson hauls it in.
And Gloucester County Dynamo going to decide to foul. That's it.
That is the game, ladies and gentlemen.
What a win.
Wow. What a win indeed. Brookdale men's will close out the semester with 2 home wins in a row. This one an exhilarating overtime win. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better night of basketball. It was back and forth all night. I mean, keys to the game. What did they do to really capitalize on those?
Well, I mean, they did an excellent job. We talked about it. They really were able to handle that full-court pressure. Now, one thing I will say, in overtime and as we got closer and closer down to the end of the game, Gloucester County decided not to do that. They wanted to play a little bit more conservatively, which I think actually helped Brookdale, because still, I don't think Brookdale was all that great at handling that full-court pressure. But they did a fantastic job in the overtime. They came back with those foul shots we were talking about. They were missing a lot of foul shots. Not an issue in the overtime periods and even late in the second half. So it's just a really, really great game. And Gloucester County, I got to hand it to them. They put up a great fight. They really have a great team. They had a great effort here tonight. And they just came up just a couple of points shy.
Yeah, I think Coach Martin really could take this team far in the regions. They really have a great program there. He just can't seem to get Coach Chizak's Jersey Blues, but great effort by all the teams around. Isaiah Johnson, Terrell Cox had themselves a great game. Noah Dean, I mean, you can name everybody on the squad. They all did very well. So we'll end off this very, very exciting night here. Ending off, we'll be back in about a month, January 17th. We'll be back for Passaic County. Saturday afternoon game. So
women start at 1, men at 3.
3 and 5.
3 and 5.
3 and 5. So long night.
It's been a long night.
We'll see you guys next month. Pat Groth here, Tim Catalfamo, on behalf of the entire Brookdale TV Class crew. Thank you for joining us tonight.